This is the Alpha Omega Photon from Darkglass Electronics, and it is now the third iteration of the Alpha Omega drive from Darkglass. And y'all, it's just a really nice thing to see my personal favorite distortion circuit get some love and get a humongous upgrade, and that's exactly what the Photon is. Not only is it a preamp, but it has so many extra capabilities on top of it where you can just basically kind of make it your entire new rig. But let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the original Alpha Omega that Darkglass came out with 4 years ago was a collaboration with John Stockman from Carnival, who's known for his very meaty, thick, gritty, nasty bass tones. And what's really cool is they decided to make two completely new distortion circuits for the Alpha Omega. You have the Alpha side, which is a nice, tight, gritty distortion. Then on the Omega side, it loosens up into a sort of woolly sound, which is just completely awesome and sort of a faux fuzz sound too. And instead of it just being a 1 or 2, you're given the choice to blend between them. And that made me fall in love with the original Alpha Omega. Then the Alpha Omega Ultra came out with extra features, and now we have the Alpha Omega Photon, which is basically a Swiss Army knife of a preamp because it's not just a preamp. You have cab simulation, MIDI in, headphone out. You can use this as an audio interface if you want, and there's even Bluetooth connectivity as well. And it's just an entire rig within this small little box pretty much. But before we really dig in, and for the sake of transparency, I do want to say that this is a sponsored video from Darkglass Electronics, and not only that, I am a huge Darkglass fanboy and an artist as well. But that has nothing to do with the sounds that are going to be in this video. Because I am a huge fanboy and an artist, that means I do really enjoy their gear. So yeah, I'm a little biased in that way. But other than that, let's just go ahead and go straight forward. So the Photon is one hell of a preamp distortion for bass, and that's because it's not just a preamp. On top of a really crisp and versatile distortion circuit, this preamp comes with compression, cab simulation, programmable presets, a built-in tuner, Bluetooth pairing, MIDI in, headphone in, aux in, and can also be used as a standalone audio interface. And that's actually how I recorded all the bass tracks for this video. Was I basically just used the Photon as my audio interface. Hell, I would even use it for my voiceover right now if it had an XLR in. For your controls, it's basically the exact same layout as the Darkglass Atom that came out last year, which I can understand can come off very daunting at first, but it's not too complicated, and all the controls really are cohesive with each other and are very user-friendly too. You have 5 knobs, 6 touch sliders that control the graphic EQ, as well as 3 rotary foot switches. Starting with your knobs, you have compression, drive, mod, blend, and level. The compression knob obviously lets you adjust how much compression you want in your signal. Then going on to drive, it obviously controls how much of drive and gain basically that you want for your distortion. Your mod knob in the middle lets you choose between your alpha side on the left and your omega side on the right. What's really cool is when it's all the way to the left, the LEDs are red, but as you continuously move clockwise to the omega side, they become more blue. So if you're in the middle, it's gonna be basically a perfect shade of purple. Blend lets you control how much of that distortion you want in your overall signal, and of course, level is your overall output. Then below that, you have your touch sensitive sliders that control your graphic EQ, and I just love the implementation of these sliders and how easy they are to work with. Each slider lets you go from -12 decibels to +12 decibels. Then for your EQ stock, it's low shelf, 250 Hz, 500 Hz, 1.5 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz, and the high shelf. But what's really cool is if you want to change this into a full 6-band graphic EQ, you can do so using Darkglass Suite. And finally below that, you have your 3 rotary foot switches. And y'all, I just have to say that I don't think I gave these foot switches enough credit during my Atom demo, because the quality of these foot switches is so nice. And of course, these foot switches do multiple things as well, which is really intuitive and can really make the best of space too. You have 3 potential presets with the A, B, and C, and of course, each one with their rotary function controls different things. On your A side, it controls your compression, B controls your drive, and then C controls your cab IRs. So when you receive this pedal, it comes preloaded with 3 different presets, of course A, B, and C, but of course you can edit those in any way you want and create your own presets. To save your new presets, all you have to do is hold down that foot switch for 2 seconds, you'll see all these lights blink, and bam, your preset's ready to go from there. But if you edit it from there on out, you'll notice that the LED starts to like breathe in and out a little bit, which is really cool. And it basically just lets you know, hey, you're editing a preset right now. This isn't the actual preset by itself. And there's 3 more functions that you can activate by pushing different combinations of the foot switches. Starting with the power, when you push in the A and the B together, that turns the pedal on and off. To turn the tuner on and off, you just push the B and the C together. Then what I really like too is there's a performance lock. When you push A and C together, it basically locks in everything in the place where you can only switch between the presets, and that's it. That means you won't accidentally twist one of the rotary switches when you're switching between presets. You won't accidentally fiddle with one of the knobs. Everything's locked into place until you unlock that performance lock. Then at the top of the pedal, you see your various inputs and outputs. Going from left to right, you have your regular input, your auxiliary in, headphone volume, then your headphone jack as well. Next to that, you have your left and right balanced outputs, your 9-volt power input, MIDI in, and then finally there's a USB-C input, so you can go ahead, hook it up to your computer, start the Darkglass app, and go and change various things, such as the different EQ sliders if you want, the signal chain options, and cab IRs too. And then finally on the left side, you have your direct output and your ground lift switch. So overall for the Alpha Omega Photon, it's just one hell of a pedal that's not simply just a preamp that has a lot of great versatile distortion options on it. It has the option to be so many other things. I think really this can be something that can replace your tuner and your amp, and you can have your basically entire rig on your pedal board with just this. Say if you want to do like a chorus pedal, a delay pedal, and a fuzz pedal with it too, because why not? This can honestly be a fly rig within itself, and it's just so awesome to me, especially with all the various options of different cab IRs, different distortions, and different compression ratios too, just right there on hand. But of course, let me know what you guys think about the Alpha Omega Photon, and what do you think about sort of all-in-one pedals like this? Yeah, it's a pretty steep price of around 500 bucks, but man, it's something where it just has so much packed into it. And because you can do so much on top of that too with the Darkglass suite, it's just gonna be able to be continuously updated too. You can change out the cab IRs for whatever you want. It's just so awesome to me seeing so much packed into one pedal. But thank y'all so much for watching, as always, for watching, subscribing, for commenting, follow me on social media. My crappy bass video that came out 2 weeks ago is at 100,000 views already. Y'all are wild. Thank you so much. And of course, a humongous thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. I want to be here without them. If you want to be like one of these beautiful people and help support the channel every single month, be included in things like early access to videos, giveaways, and more, then go ahead and head over to my Patreon page. But y'all, thank you again so much for watching as always. And of course, no matter where in the world you are, stay safe, practice that bass, and I'll see y'all next time.